Season 3 Reloaded starts on Thursday the 1st of May, but we now have the official blog post from Call of Duty with all the information about what to expect for the rest of this season. We've got maps, weapons, and limited time modes, as well as some functional updates for multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. Let's get into it. We have Haven, a brand new 6v6 map for multiplayer. Looks like it could be a little bit more like classic 3-lane map style, which is much preferred by the traditionalists, shall we say, as opposed to the more brain rot style maps that have been the bread and butter of Black Ops 6. But if that is your kind of preferred style, then we have a strike map. Signal supposedly features in one of the former campaigns and is part of the Black Ops listing post. But yeah, this is going to be either a 6v6 or a 2v2 strike map, so I expect that to be absolute carnage. Good one for completing camos or just blowing off some steam. Joint Operations Limited Time mode is coming. As you can see here, we've had a bit of a redesign of Nuketown, so that's going to be called Blaze Town, I think they said it was. Just a bit of a respray. But what the new mode consists of is essentially a rotation of all the classic map modes, so kill confirmed, kill order, hardpoint domination, and team deathmatch. It's going to rotate through all those with a load of varying game modifiers to keep things a bit interesting and spicy. Could be genuinely a good mode to try if you're into your multiplayer. We have a new perk, Vendetta. This is going to be one of the blue perks here. On respawn, mark your killer's last known position for a short duration. Get a bonus score for eliminating that enemy. The Vigilance perk counters being marked by Vendetta. So yeah, just another blue perk to throw into the mix. And this is how that's going to show on the map once you've been killed by somebody, presumably. And onto zombies content, we have a new limited time mode there also. It's going to be the zombie snacks mode. From reading what it involves, it sounds a lot like the cranks mode from multiplayer. So essentially, you kill the zombies, they drop food, snacks, blah, blah, blah. You keep needing to kill zombies and pick that stuff up to stay alive. It tops your energy up. Otherwise, if you camp in a corner, you're just going to run out of energy and die. So a bit of a cranked, like high octane mode, constantly on the go, as if zombies wasn't cracked out enough for you. As is the popular way for Call of Duty seemingly these days. To be fair, there's only so much new content you can come up with. So they've brought one of the old perks from zombies back. Frostblast, you know, it's going to slow the zombies down in a little bit like Cryo Freeze currently does as a weapon modifier. So as we can see here, you can research it with the research trees just like with every augment. Shattered Veil, which is the most recent mode to zombies, is going to get a directed mode. So if you've not tried that yet, you're not too hardcore into your zombies, the directed mode essentially gives you a nice easy walkthrough. As you go through, you get in-game prompts as to what to do next, and it sort of gently steers you through any of the new zombies maps to make it a bit more of a accessible mode if you're not too familiar with what you're doing. Not a bad thing to add to the game. And then onto what a lot of you have probably come for, the Warzone Reloaded content. Yep. Few updates, and the first one to get into is Choo Choo. We have the train. Yes, we got the train back. You know, once upon a time I'd have been like, oh, great, a train. But this thing was absolute carnage when it first got added into Verdansk's first time around. I'm expecting it to be genuinely quite good fun when it comes back in just a couple of days' time. This is just going to circle the map on the train track. It is going to have the respawning recon contract on it, so it'll be a high risk, high reward kind of deal. But if you can hold the train, pick up that contract on the train, and then complete the recon contract on it, you can potentially figure out all the forthcoming circles. But expect that to be hotly contested, as if the game mode isn't filled with enough aggressive people as it is at times. We are getting high value loot zones, so I'm presuming that's going to be indicated by an icon on the map, but this is essentially going to be an area of the map or areas of the map where there's going to be potentially more ginger crates, more stuff in crates, better loot to find and get yourself ahead in the game. And I think this is a good thing, because although this is going to attract a certain amount of attention, I think currently whenever you land anywhere, there's just always people. You basically got to fight for any contract, especially in solos. Like, you'd never have a contract that's uncontested. So this might now attract some of the sweatier players perhaps, and so if you stick to one of the more quieter areas of the map that isn't a high value loot zone, you've got a slightly better chance of just getting on the deck and getting a bit of looting done, maybe even getting your load out without having to have several gunfights before you get to that point. So I think this works out for everybody. Sweatier players can go there, be rewarded with some faster gunfights and some better loot. If you're a more chill player looking to just take things a bit steadier, that might take some of that early game heat off on landing. More contracts. I don't think anyone's really going to complain about that. As I just mentioned, contracts are hotly contested. We've talked about Recon has been added to the train. They're also bringing big game bounty contracts. You're probably familiar how this works, but essentially it gives you a bounty, but it's not any ordinary bounty. It's going to be the person in the map that has got the most kills currently that hasn't had a big game bounty on them already. I expect that person to put up a big fight, but you'll be rewarded with a good bonus for it. My experience of the big game bounty, though, is that unless you're doing it late game, it basically tries sending you all the way across the map. So I tend to pick those up late game, but I'll leave that one in your hands. We have a new vehicle. Yes, a motorbike, the TF250X. That just rolls off the tongue. Triumph, British brand, shout out. I've got nothing against new vehicles being added, but again, I'll leave that one to you. If you want to use that, I'm going to give that a wide steer because that thing is going to be absolute death. If my experience of how vehicles play is anything to go by. But don't get me wrong, the vehicles in Season 3, they seem to be offering a lot more protection than previously on Urzikstan, but the ATVs, and so this will be the same, still absolute death. I'd stick with the TAP Rovers, and the LTVs in particular are totally tanky. If anything, I'd hope that the LTVs get a little bit of a nerf and maybe become a little bit less tanky, but we'll see how that goes. And something a lot of you will have been hotly anticipating, it's the Battle Royale ranked play mode for Verdansk. Even if you're not going to be doing the ranked mode, I think this is pertinent to everybody because not only is this good news for all the sweaty players looking to getting their teeth into something more meaningful than just chasing wins, they can now chase, the top 250 grind, all that kind of stuff. But essentially, with this taking the more sweatier players, a little bit like the high value loot zones, this will leave the core Battle Royale perhaps a little bit mellower for everybody else. If you're like a middle skill bracket kind of player, and even some of the lower skill bracket players as well, it might just make your experience a little bit less punishing than it is currently. I make no promises, so please don't come back to me if that's not the case at all and you're still getting absolutely gunned. A quick look at the rewards for rank play here. We got some emblems, sprays, we've got a weapon blueprint, that's it. So possibly a bit disappointing for the people doing ranked. Won't bother me, but hey ho. Verdansk limited time modes, yes. First is the High Trip Resurgence. We've had this before where it was all a little bit weird. We had it on Rebirth though, didn't we? All of the colours are a little bit strange and there's different weapons and some perk modifiers, that kind of thing. You pick up sunglasses, it says, to get faster reload, super speed, no fall damage, that kind of stuff. You get these different boosts. So that's going to be one thing, a little fun mode to try. Bearing in mind, it does actually say that's going to be on Verdansk, not Rebirth Island. So see how that pans out. But also on the same sort of vein, we've got massive resurgence, like regular resurgence on Rebirth, but it's going to be on Verdansk, and obviously with the operator count getting up to 120 players. I expect that to be absolute carnage. Not going to be a permanent thing, but limited time mode. Absolutely get in there, give it a go. Just mix things up. It sounds like it could be good fun. On to the more general sort of details from the game then. We've got a few things that apply to across all different modes. First is we got a new weapon come in. It's the Ladra SMG. Here it is here. It's described as having low recoil and good range. So certainly if we're talking about Warzone, potential for a sniper support gun if they nerf some of the ARs. We'll get into weapon adjustments before the end of the video. But, potentially a sniper support SMG here in the making, but we'll monitor that one. New special weapon attachments. It's going to be the rocket conversion kit for the Goblin. You've probably not used the Goblin if you're not a cheater, because that seemed to be their go-to gun for a little while, but the Goblin is now going to get a rocket conversion kit. I expect this to be absolutely useless in Warzone in particular, but you never know. We'll see. It could be a fun one to try out in multiplayer, but we'll get it unlocked. We'll find out when the time comes if it's any good or not. In terms of how you get the Ladra SMG and the rocket conversion for the Goblin unlocked, it's going to be via the new Season 3 Reloaded events, along with a operator blueprint for Seth Rogen in this clown outfit alongside Bluntman and Chronic. Anyway, we're not going to talk too much about that. But yeah, the first event, it's the High Art event. Similar sort of way it tracks to one of the previous ones. I think it's just going to be an XP grind event. No special challenges, nothing to use your brain for. Literally turn up, play the game, work your way along the XP meter. If you pay extra COD points, 1100 COD points, you get access to the premium track. Yay, play the game more, and unlock some stuff. It's low-key basically just you're buying the stuff, aren't you? But having to work a little bit for it as well. So I don't really get these kind of events. I mean, the free one, whatever. But so there you go. Ladra on there and the rocket conversion, both on the free track. So you're not going to have to pay any extra to upgrade those. But there is like a reasonable operator skin at the end of it for completing it. Well, this one starts on the 1st of May and runs to the 15th. We have from the 6th of May, May the 6th, we have the Blaze of Glory event. So I talked about Blaze Town being on Nuketown, the new reskin of that. But this is one of these ones where I think it'll be across multiplayer and Warzone. But essentially killing people, opening boxes, all that kind of jazz is going to release these books. And you collect the books and eventually you can trade those in for like icons, blueprints, blah, blah, blah. It's one of those. Again, it's just play the game, collect the things as you go through and get some rewards. No mention of what they're like. Any good? Potentially, potentially not. Who knows? Events have, I would say, been a little bit disappointing in Black Ops 6. Certainly compared to Modern Warfare 3, I think the events were absolutely knocked out of the park by Sledgehammer. We won't go into that today, but at least there is some new content for the remainder of this season. If you're into the store and spending yet more money on the game, there's a load of things for the store. From the 1st of May, we will also have the Call of Duty Endowment Got Your 6 event. I'm not too sure what that's going to involve because there's no details on it. There is quite a lot going on for the remainder of this season. Whether those events are a bit lackluster or actually grab your attention or not, I don't know. But I know Warzone is good fun at the moment, and I'll be diving back into that, if not the multiplayer. I nearly forgot to mention there are no details on weapon balancing whatsoever. So I would expect those to be in the patch notes when the mid-season starts on the 1st. I'm expecting probably slight nerf to the AK, potentially the AMAX, potentially the HDR. Hopefully they won't go too crazy with it because I think it's in a reasonably good spot at the moment, barring the fact that SMGs are fairly useless compared to how good the ARs are at close range. But we'll see how that goes with the launch in the new season. If there's anything worth reporting on, I'll certainly bring that to the channel. So that wraps things up for now, and I will see you soon.